What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 4040 Vision podcast. I'm your host, Khaled Abdallah, and I'm joined today by a good friend, Tarik Ansari, who is an announcer at KALW and the game day host for, I don't know how he does this, but both the Oakland Ballers and the Yuba Sutter High Wheelers of the Pioneer League Baseball. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I don't know how I do it either. I just got stressed out when you said that. I'm like, oh God, I do that. My God. But I'm doing good. I'm out here at my parents' house here in Roseville, which is why the decor is a ceiling fan, a huge television, and a Beerman's poster. The place doesn't even exist anymore. If you're in Roseville,
Very
you know
cool.
what this is. If you don't, then you're probably like, what the hell is this? But yeah, great to be on here. Thank you for the opportunity. A nice hat. Looks very nice on you.
Thank you. Yeah. As I said, I wore this on purpose as a shout out to the Ballers keeping Oakland baseball alive. So today we're going to talk about you. I want to hear about your journey, your career in radio and sports. I want to talk about Bay Area sports, Sacramento sports. It seems like you lived in both places. I want to hear about the current state and your opinion on, the sports landscape in both of these places. So let's start. Let's go way back. What first got you into radio and broadcasting? Like, when did you decide, hey, this is something that I want to do?
So yeah, I grew up always listening to the radio. My dad always had Capital Public Radio on, NPR. Also, we just listen to sports all the time, particularly football. In the mid 2000s too, I grew up listening to 49ers games and Joe Starkey, and he did Cal games I think until a few years ago, but he only did football games for the Niners, 49er games until the late 2000s. And just the way he would describe a play, you close your eyes and you just imagine, what's happening in this play, because the Niners were not good back then.
Well, they weren't,
but he made everything exciting. Like, what a play, Sean Hill, or like just ran like, look at that play by JT O'Sullivan.
You're just listing off all the
Tim Rattay. See, there you go. Ken Dorsey, what a man. That's the most. You look back and you're like, what? How did I have excitement? But he made things so exciting. And same with the Kings. Like, I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. Famous last words. It's, Gary Gold. Sorry, I might keep pronouncing his name wrong. He always would make games exciting. I just wanted to do that. Like, I wanted to talk, because I was very good at talking as a kid, as I am now. And I just wanted to just do that for a living. And I wanted to do it play-by-play at first, but I just after high school, I did a lot of play-by-play in high school with football, basketball, and baseball. And then a radio station in Auburn called KHI, said they needed a halftime show host for their football games, because they did high school football for Placer High. And this guy named Mike Remy was a friend of my parents, and he did the sales for them. And he just said, "Oh, I've heard you talk. You sound like you could talk in front of a microphone." I'm like, "I have, and I can." And so he got me my big
radio
break
voice. There. I'll say that. Yeah, you had a great voice.
Wasn't always like this, like it just took a little bit of experience, but I appreciate that. But yeah, just got started there. COVID hit. I actually moved to Seattle for a year to work at Bonneville, their cluster of stations, including ESPN Radio in Seattle, all the Mariners and Seahawks games, and then Cairo, which is their news station, basically like their KCBS for people in the Bay Area. Like their version up there is Cairo Radio. And I was a board op there, learned a lot there, learned from the real pros, and then came back down here, got the KALW position, worked at the old KGO radio before it shut down, thanks to the great Lee Hammer, shout out to him. And yeah, just got a lot of really lucky breaks, and a lot of me sending resumes and sending voice demos and videos like, I am me, hire me. Not saying that exactly, but just kind of trying to get
pretty much
a foot in the door anyway. Yeah, like the industry is. So
yeah, I mean, I've had a guest. He said, I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And obviously, you were prepared. You did your homework. You have your experience, and then you just got the right opportunities by reaching out to folks and doing all that. So I don't want to assume, but I think based on your last name, you're Middle Eastern or Desi. Did you have a hard time convincing your parents that this was like a viable career path for you?
That's a great question. Yeah, my dad wanted me to be a data scientist. Probably still does.
Okay.
Because my parents, I will say, for my dad's Lebanese. He's from Beirut.
Okay.
My mom is not from Beirut. Definitely a mixed kid is what I'm trying to say. But I'm throwing the parents under the bus for no reason. But yeah, he wanted me to be a data scientist. He wanted me to make make the money, that have the comfort, and which makes total sense, of course. It took him a while, especially my dad. My mom kind of got wind of it early that, oh yeah, he talks a lot and he's going to keep talking and he's going to get paid to talk. But my dad took a while to come around to it. But once he started to see me have success in Seattle, or to like be able to actually make a living and pay rent doing this, and he was like, okay, yeah, I think I got you. You're doing pretty good. But it did take a bit, especially with a name like mine that gets mispronounced a lot. It's just the nature of it. They're it is what it is. But I'm proud that I get to do it, and proud to do it as a Lebanese. I mean, I say Lebanese American. I was born in Roseville, so I proudly represent Lebanon best I can. But again, I'm an American
Yeah.
through and
No,
through.
it still counts. There's some hyphenation there. It's not like a bad thing. It's just, it's part of your identity and your name. I mean, you see my name as well. It's
Yeah.
they
Are
both
you
get
are you
mispronounced.
also Lebanese?
So my dad is actually half Lebanese
Oh, okay.
and the other half is Egyptian. My mom is also Egyptian, but I was born and raised here. I was born in Arizona, lived all over
Oh,
the place. But
okay.
yeah, so pretty similar, right?
So you probably got the beard after you left Arizona, because otherwise that's the sweat would be unreal, right? I mean,
Man, yeah. I mean, it's
I
helpful here in Sacramento. It's keeps you warm in the winter months. But yeah, come summertime, when it's hitting 105, whatever, definitely trimming this down to get
yeah, fair
comfortable.
enough. What part of Sac are you in, by the way, right now?
I'm in South Sac, like Pocket area.
My mom grew up in South Sac, went to Valley High, so yeah.
Okay, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in the Bay Area, so I grew up in the South Bay in San Jose. So that explains like my fandom. I'm not a Kings fan. I'm a Warriors fan. I
I
actually
have to
grew up.
leave.
I
I'm
know
very
your
sorry. Goodbye. No, it's good.
interview
Kidding
over.
around. It's all
You
good.
you mentioned
Yeah.
the Niners. I actually grew up like a stone's throw from their practice facility at Levi Stadium, but I became a Raiders fan. I don't know why. I think when it was like 1998. I was 10 years old. Both teams were pretty good, right? But the Raiders were better. They had the cool colors and stuff. I love Rich Gannon, so it just kind of
Oh
happened.
yeah.
But
And silver
you
and
know,
black, and they made the Super Bowl, I think, in the early 2002, was it? They made the Super Bowl.
yes, I was
Yeah.
13 years old or 12 years old when the Tuck Rule happened. Is the first time I cried
Oh, that was
because of
still BS.
sports.
Still
Yeah.
BS.
And then
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, I had a big Super Bowl party at my house. I was a freshman in high school. I was really excited. And then, of course, that ended in shame, unfortunately.
Mm,
But it's all
yeah.
good. So, yeah, man, I mean, the sports passion, you talked about listening to the radio and games early on. I had a similar experience. I remember growing up listening to A's games, while I was doing my homework on like those old clock radios with the red lights or the red LED
Yeah. Or like the
numbers.
ones like, yeah.
Yeah,
Bring those
exactly.
back,
Right.
man.
It's
Those are
just,
cooler than our phones. Bring those back. Those are
they're
great.
so awesome, and it's just like it's like a core memory of just listening to the A's games, going to falling asleep to them during extra innings or whatever it might be. It's just like a big. So I love the radio. I think I'm one of the few people I know that still listen to the radio. Like I ask
Hmm.
my friends, I'm like, what do you guys, when you're driving, do you ever listen to the radio? And they're like, no. So I'm proudly keeping that tradition alive. Sports radio, music, talk radio, all that stuff. So, but for you, like this passion for sports, did that come from your parents? Did that just kind of happen organically? Tell me more.
A little bit from my dad. I mean, he was a big Niner fan. They're sports fans, but they're maybe not die hard. Like my dad likes the Niners a lot. They like baseball, but not super seriously. My dad likes the Kings, but they're the Kings. So you can only take a little bit before it becomes, toxic. It's just legally not good for you to enjoy Kings basketball because they suck so much consistently. But that was more organic, I will say. Like I've had a tendency between music and sports, just to like take something my parents kind of like that I also kind of like and dive way deep into it. And that's what happened with sports, particularly football. Like there was I want to say a 6 or 7 year period where all I cared about in my life was the Niners or the A's, because I became an A's fan thanks to my great aunt, who was a huge Oakland A's fan, and to a lesser extent the Kings for the same reason I just mentioned. I didn't expect to slander the Kings so much, but well, here we
I
are.
mean, you're doing it all on your own. I'm not setting you up for
It's
that. You're
true.
you're doing it.
I did on the way back here listen to sports radio and hear that they signed Russell Westbrook, and just I'm like, why? But I bet this is not a Kings podcast. In fact, but it's probably a lot of
It
Warriors
can
fans
be.
listening. Like, I mean, it could be, but let's not do that because we don't want to make people sad. But yeah, no, I just organically. I really loved. Same thing. Like I used to listen to Kings games, not on a clock radio, but like just closing your eyes and I'm listening to Ken Korak calling A's game, and just like his voice and how it just guides you through what's happening. Or I loved it, and I still love it now. Music is where I kind of don't listen to a lot of music radio, um, unless I'm asked to or somebody I know is on. And I understand why people don't listen to radio anymore. It's a lot of people. I mean, I'm from a generation like I was born in the late '90s, where radio was still around, but we're starting to make the transition to like Pandora and Spotify and all these different, these streaming platforms. CDs are kind of going out. We have Bluetooth you can play off your phone, and people want to play their own stuff. And so because of that, radio I think it's taken a bit of a hit. But sports radio, or sports podcasting, I think it all kind of goes under an umbrella. It's still the same content, just under, in new clothes, but it's still, what we've been doing for years and years. I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think, at least me, like, there's always going to be, as long as there's sports fans, as long as there's games, there's going to be an audience, and there's going to be people who want to talk about these things, talk about games they just went to, a game they just watched. And that's why all these podcasts are popping up and why they're successful, because people love talking
Mhm.
about sports. Because it's fun.
Yeah, and I feel like the radio folks have like adapted to this new world. Like all the radio stations, they post every show as a
Hmm.
podcast on their whatever stream they have. A lot of them are doing like live shows where they're doing a live broadcast from the station on YouTube, so you can treat it like a podcast. You can watch it on YouTube. You don't even need to be in your car, which I think is great because it expands the audience and it. So that's what I love about it, is that they're ever evolving, but it still hits a lot of the same beats, especially when they take callers. It's the, some guy that's really angry or some guy that says, "Hey, first time, long time," you know,
Long
and
time
I've,
caller, first time listener. Yeah.
yeah, that, but I've had the pleasure of, listening to or living in some other, the East Coast, like East Coast sports radio is a different beast. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
if you're familiar, but like the guys in Philly and New York, like I feel like the Bay Area SAC guys, there's like I'm trying to find the word. It's like they're more reserved, I guess, with their
They're more
criticism
laid back. Yeah.
of the team. Yeah. But the
I
East
mean,
Coast guys, they just let it fly.
I'll tell you, I went to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game. This is January 2023. This is Niners Eagles. This is when Purdy had
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that game. Yeah,
The
memorable.
bloodbath. Yeah.
So bad. And I was wearing, I was a genius and decided to wear my satin gold Niners jacket that you could see from 2 miles away in Philadelphia. And I wanted to embrace, I wanted to listen to sports radio there. I wanted to see what the vibe was like. And I was like, are y'all okay? Y'all need
No,
help?
they're not.
Like, I
They're
mean,
not
they're
okay.
not. Now they're
Yeah.
intense and they're passionate and they know their stuff, and I respect that. But when you grow up, I mean, you grew up, I mean, between, you said Santa Clara, right? So again, West Coast, like me, laid back. Yeah, we're into our teams, but look at the weather, the beach. Who wants to listen to Pet Sounds? The Beach Boys. It's California, baby. And you just go out there and you're like, oh my God, y'all need to take a laxative. Like, calm down, man. Like but that's just kind of the fun of it. Like they get really into it, and I mean, there's sometimes like I've gone to a few Giants games where I think a few fans could definitely take some notes from some of the Phillies fans and some of the I don't want to say Yankees fans but some of the Phillies fans, they get way into it, and I love that. So
Yeah, the passion is unmatched, and especially I know Philly has all the major sports, but it is above all else, it's an Eagles town and they are insane. So I had a buddy of mine that's at that game as well. He flew out. I think he was wearing a bright red starter jacket. So it's the
oh
same
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
just
Well, I know
standing
him. He
out,
was one of the two other guys who got beat up. Yeah.
probably.
No.
I mean, he said he felt good. He never felt threatened in the stadium, but he said the walk from the parking lot to the
Oh
stadium,
yes.
like through all the tailgates, he said that was probably like the most harrowing experience of his life, with the people, throwing beers and cussing and doing all kinds of stuff. So it was
I
an intense atmosphere.
I challenged myself. I remember I went to the whatever market was there. People in Philly know what it's called, or even East Coast. I forgot what it's called, but this is really cool public market that's in like downtown Philly. And when I
I
flew
actually
in, I
lived
went
I
there
lived in
first.
Philly for 6 years,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's the Reading Terminal Market. Very familiar.
That's it.
Great
Thank
place.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Loved it. It reminded me of the Emeryville one, but like 30,000 times better because it's bigger
Yeah.
and it's got all these the Emeryville one tries, but it was so fun. It was so great. I had my gold, again, like I said, gold satin jacket, and I decided I'm gonna walk all the way from here to Lincoln to the link, and you used to live there. That's not a
It's a
short walk,
decent
but
walk. That's
it's a
like
decent
30,
walk.
40 minute walk. Yeah.
Exactly. Took about 40, 45 minutes. Stopped at a few thrift stores on the way because that's the kind of person I am. And as I got closer to the stadium, the hostility increased. By the time I got to
Makes
the
sense.
parking lot, they're like gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, who is this guy? What the hell?" Like they're disappointed in me, and like they're throwing things. Like I don't think they're actually trying to hit me, or they're just so drunk they don't know how to throw. Like they're Brooks Conrad. But no, it's just it was it's wild. I think long story short to see that level of passion in sports. When you grow up out here.
So I want to talk to you about your game day host work and how you got involved with the Ballers, who are, for those who are not familiar, it is a newly formed independent baseball team in Oakland, kind of as a response to the A's leaving to Sacramento and then I guess Las Vegas. You mentioned that you're an A's fan as well, so I want to talk to you about how you feel and your general feelings and stuff. But how did you get involved with the Ballers and the High Wheelers at the same time?
If I told you how I felt about the A's situation, we'd be here all day. I'll summarize it. I'll answer that first and summarize it this way.
Please, please.
What happened to the A's, how that situation transpired is a tragedy to professional sports. And it
I'm
shows
nodding very
you're
strongly in
not, well,
agreement here. Yeah.
exactly. The see, I work and I talk and I work. I work and talk, but I can't talk sometimes. It's weird. The privatization, that's the word I was going for, of teams and the corporate feel of teams and leagues is ruining baseball, and it's going to show its ugly head in 2027 when we're going to have a lockout. It's a guarantee, and it's because of the greed. And what happened with the city of Oakland when there was a clear stadium deal there was a deficit that needed to be made up of like $60 million, $70 million, toilet paper for billionaires. And the fact that it didn't happen and that this is being pushed through the way it is. And again, I love Sacramento. I love this city. I love the people I grew up with. I love the people who go to these A's games in Sacramento, and I know some people in Vegas too. But the fact that this is all happening and it's being pushed through and that nobody from a league standpoint is stopping it really makes me not want to be a fan of Major League Baseball anymore. Because I think
Yeah. No,
Oakland,
I'm with you.
yeah, because Oakland, I think as a Major League Baseball town, is everything you'd want in an MLB city in the sense that it's not competing with the NFL. It's not competing with MLS even. I mean, you got the Earthquakes, but they're in San Jose. And they have this amazing ability to be kind of like a Milwaukee or kind of like Cincinnati, like cities that aren't huge cities and maybe aren't the biggest markets. It's the Bay Area though. It's not a small market.
Yeah.
Anybody who calls Oakland a small
That's my
market,
point. Yeah.
they're a liar. Yeah.
Doesn't know.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think the fact that they took this incredible opportunity to make Oakland their town and this fan base that is there but doesn't show up as much as maybe before because the ownership has not invested in the team, to abandon it and now wonder why they have no fans. It's so stupid. And I'll transition into the Ballers with that because when all the A stuff was happening, I was an intern for Casey Pratt back at ABC7 when he was a producer there. I was a sports intern working with him. Just some amazing people out there. Shout out to Chris, Alex, Lando, Larry Beal, obviously they're the lead sports anchor there, to Abe, and with Casey, obviously working a lot of these games and working, Oakland City Hall, like Oakland A's games last year that they were there. And so we get to early this year, like I want to say January, and he's like, at this time I thought he was still working in the mayor's office, and then well, things happened there with Shane Tao.
Yeah.
I won't get into
Got a
that
little
because
messy. Yeah.
I won't
That's a
get into
whole
that
other
because
podcast.
yeah, that's a tell all, everyone. No, I actually don't know anything that happened there except that, well, didn't really work out. Casey calls me. He says, I am now with the Oakland Ballers. And I'm like, that's great. It's a perfect fit, as you should. And he's like, and I'd like you to be a part of the experience as the Swiss Army knife. Like, so some days we'll put you on the entertainment crew. Some days you'll be video person. We'll try to get you a little bit of PA, some in-game stuff as well. Heck yeah. The Oakland Ballers? I'm so down.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's all this is because of Casey, because he had this vision of things he wanted to do with the entertainment crew, and he wanted to get me aboard and help out, and so I owe it all to him. From the internship to that, it's really he's given me so much opportunity and sharing his passion for Oakland sports. Because I mean, I can't think of anybody who has more passion for that city than him. I mean, just between his reporting and his work. And then we got to like I think June 1st, and Mark Kahn, who also does PA for the Oakland Ballers, he took a few games off, and they tried me out on PA, and it sounded pretty good. I made a few mistakes, like going way too hard in like the top of the third inning. So now batting, like I have learning how to level out my voice and not make every batter sound like they're bottom of the ninth in Game 7 of the World Series. But yeah, just one game became two, and then two games became five, and then it became a thing where me and Mark were kind of trading off, and it was a great time. I mean, just feeding off the energy. And the High Wheelers came about because at one of those games, I want to say it's actually the first game I did PA at, Eric Gardner, who was the at the time was the general manager of the Yuba Sutter High Wheelers. Not the yellow High Wheelers, as I would like to remind people. They don't play in Davis anymore. They play in Marysville.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Because they have lights now in Marysville. It's pretty cool. I won't get into that, but when they played in Davis, they had a bit of trouble with the lights. So anyway, he reaches out to me. He says, we'd love for you to do some, PA and in-game hosting stuff with the High Wheelers. And I used to go to Marysville Gold Sox games back when they were a college, I think, wood bat league as a kid, because it's only about 40 minutes from here where I grew up, because I grew up here in Roseville. And that was a great experience because it was very different from Oakland. Maybe not as many fans because it was their first year there, so they're still trying to build a fan base, I should say. But the ballpark was wonderful. They did such a great job. The people were so nice.
Real, like small town vibes. I loved it there.
Yeah,
when we went.
Exactly. Like you'd hop I shouldn't say that actually. Well, screw it. I'll say it. You would hop like one of the fences in left field down the line to go to the really, really good ice cream stand there. By the way, I just want everyone for the High Wheelers to know I didn't hop that fence, mostly because I got this and I don't have that, and I walked the way around like a normal person should. But I'm saying hypothetically you could do that. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. But yeah, between that and just like the food is great. The people were really nice. The team was fun to watch. They didn't make the playoffs, but they got really close. And they really did a great job taking something from my childhood and like, renovating that place and making the baseball really fun. And the High Wheelers let me kind of get a little crazier with like, I would play, or like, I don't know, our DJ Shiloh, he would play a song, like, let's say he would play a synth song, he played Depeche Mode or something like in between innings, and I'd be like, make some noise for the power of synthesizers, in that voice. And people would just start like, we're going to clap, why not? Yeah, let's go, Or, like we had ads in the outfield and somebody hit a foul ball and it hit a car. No, that car looks like it's done for. Time to go to a Wheeler Chevrolet for a new, and kind of like, very
you get to freestyle
corny,
a little bit.
Yeah, freestyle, which was really fun. And over time I got to do a little more of that in Oakland, but like kind of temper it down, because there would be times where I was, that one hit a car, now I want to hit a car. Then I'd be like, okay, you're right. Little indication from fans. They would turn around and they go, that wasn't funny. They were so they're so honest with me. Yeah, like that wasn't good. I'm like, okay, fair, it wasn't good. It was a great experience though. I had such a great time, and I think what they have going in Marysville is they have something really special happening there. Like we had a few nights where they pulled a couple thousand people, and the atmosphere was amazing. And that town, they show up to games, and you got a team that's going to stay. Yeah, you got a fan base there, and the High Wheelers Ballers matchups, they had a lot of fire to them, and they were really fun. It was a little awkward when some of the Ballers people would see me and go,
yeah, like, what are you doing here?
Wait, what? And actually, I have in my car right now a Trader Tarik jersey, a High Wheelers Trader Tarik jersey, because they called me Tarik the Trader. Yeah, shout out to Ice Cold Kenny and Maya for that. They just thought like, that's funny. And now I just got called Trader the entire second half of the season, because even the players were doing it too. Like Helmick after a game was like, Trader! I'm like, what? It's really funny.
It's a rivalry. It's a legit rivalry. I mean, that was one of the games I got to go to. So I love the Ballers. I have Ballers gear. I invested in the initial round when it came around. I got one share, because I was like, I want to be part of this as as a supporter of Oakland baseball and Oakland pro sports. But I haven't been able to make it out to a game in Oakland. But I did take my kids to a game in Marysville, and it's just I love baseball. Yeah, so that's where I saw you the first time. This was, I forget exactly when, but I was like, I want to reach out to this guy, and then I happened to see you on Reddit. But yeah, I
Were
was there
you
with my
were
two
you in the blue
boys.
seats? I think wait. Were you in the blue seats behind home plate? Because I think I might remember.
We were moving around. It was me, my two boys, they're 7 and 3. We were wearing our
Okay.
Oakland Roots shirts. I think I was wearing my Ballers, my Ballers investor shirt because like I gotta rep the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw you. You're having a great time with the mascot, the bear. I forget his name,
Axel. Can I
but yeah,
can I
Axel.
just interrupt and
Uh,
say,
please.
as you know, the Sacramento Valley, is really hot. Really
It was
hot.
really hot that day. It was
And it
like
was
100
really hot.
degrees that day,
Yeah, because that was, oh God, was it August or July that those games were?
something like
Um,
that. Yeah,
yeah, because we did a few series there. And Axel the friendly bear. Some of you have come up to me and called him Timu Teddy. I know him with the
rude,
Ballers too, but that's
rude.
not right. He's not Timu Teddy. You know who you are. I'm not gonna say names. You know who you are, and you may be in the Oakland 68s. That's all I'm saying. He's not Timu Teddy. I love you, but he's not Timu Teddy. The man, I'm telling you, he was in this costume in 105-degree heat in Marysville. A lot of concrete, not a lot of shade. Some shade, but not a lot of shade in the stadium, in case you haven't been to Bryant Field. The man is walking around in this suit during the hottest portions of the game, getting hugs, probably very sweaty ones. The man, I gotta tell you, like, that is the hardest job in the world. I cannot imagine how much sweat. I think I would sweat off 30 pounds with how heavy that suit was. I know this is a quick aside that means nothing to some, but like, respect for the mascot people. It goes from
Absolutely.
Scrappy to Axel to Stomper to Dinger, whatever. When it's really hot, it's not as hot in Oakland, but like, when it's really hot, those people are working really hard and they're putting up with your annoying kids. Not yours. Well, unless they are annoying, in which case that's on you. But like, really, it's just, I
Sometimes.
just want to quick, sometimes, yeah, it is. Quick aside, because some people are giving him crap. I'm like, okay, yeah, he maybe isn't as mobile, but you tried being mobile in that big suit with the big top hat, and he's got cushion all over, and he's the friendly bear, not Timu Teddy. I know who you are. Don't be saying that. That's not right.
No, major respect. He was very friendly, very patient with my kids. Even waited for my 3-year-old to warm up to the idea of taking a picture with this big bear.
Yeah.
I love the accessibility of it. I mean, I've taken them to
Yeah.
a couple A's games here, an A's game here, a River Cats game, but there's no replacement or no substitute for the fact that you can like literally walk up to the bullpen and the players are just hanging out, and you
Hmm.
can talk to the players. You can kind of move around, sit where you want. The players gave them balls. It was like an amazing experience. They have their, Pioneer League baseballs on their shelf. They keep
Hmm.
talking about it. My 3-year-old is constantly yelling, "Go Wheelers." He's running around the house.
Wow. I love that
Yeah,
Oakland
it
Ballers
made,
fans tuning in, like, what the hell? Like, I thought
I
you were
know it's
our
a
guy.
rivalry, but I love
That's
both.
nice.
They both have a special place in my heart, especially because it's, Marysville is about like 50 minutes from us, so it's a little more accessible than going to Oakland with
Yeah.
traffic and all
Highway
that. So
99, right? Just go all the way
yeah,
up, right?
yeah, exactly. 99 to 70 or something. But it's just
Yeah, it's
such a
just
fun
60.
time, especially for if you have kids and you live anywhere near a Ballers game or High Wheelers game or somewhere in Modesto. I think there's a new
Or
team in
Modesto.
Modesto
Yeah.
coming.
And Long Beach,
Take your
too. Yeah, that's
kids.
going to be new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. So,
No, that's,
how do you do both? Do you just like alternate, like one series
oh
here, one
boy.
series there? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I kind of burnt myself out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about, like,
Because
should I
that's a
tell my
drive, right? It's like two
Oh,
and a half
yeah.
hours.
Yeah. The High Wheelers were very nice, and they're very accommodating, and they made a lot of really sweet offers to me, and like, hey, how can we get you out here as much as possible? So shout out to Eric and the ownership there. Like, they were really supportive and like, hey, we know it's really far, but we really want you here. And they made that very clear. And yeah, so sometimes I would stay up in Yuba City or Marysville. Sometimes I would stay in Roseville here with my parents. It's about a 45-minute drive up on 65 and then 70 because we're talking about highways now. Let's go. And so what I would do is I would switch off every other week, Ballers one week, High Wheelers the other, because most of the time, and unless they were playing each other, they would have home series trade off. The only exception was the last week when I had a few, we had the Ballers last week of the season. And at the end of the week, I went to Seattle for the 49ers game. And also, like, I have a job in the city. I was taking a lot of time off for KLW, and they weren't very pleased. So I had to kind of, like, go back and, like, do that last week because they were like, hey, we're getting mad. You're kind of away all the time. We need you to fill in for a few shifts, which is understandable. So the entire summer I was calling these games, and So it was a tough balance. Like honestly, I'm not sure how next year is gonna look because it was very like by the time I got to August, I was just so exhausted because like, these games are so fun, and I never am in a game like, oh, I can't wait to go home, that kind of thing. Like I love whether it's the high wheelers or the ballers. I love just seeing, you mentioned the kids, and that's the big thing is like just seeing the faces on these kids. Like they don't care to a certain extent like where they are in the standings or how many fans are there, even like if they're winning by a lot or whatever. It's just they're there to have fun and to see that thrill that I had on my face when I was at River Cats games as a kid, or Ports games, or A's games, or even Gold Sox games, and those very seats like years and years ago. It makes me feel like so happy. But just afterwards, like just the travel and just like the back and forth, it just was so tired. And
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot, yeah. And I'm glad I did it though. I'm glad that I was able to work, and just kind of go back to a big part of my childhood, as well as work in Oakland with a team that I have to say is everything I would ever want in a baseball team, the Oakland Ballers, as far as, replacing the A's and being better than the A's. Not like on the
Yeah,
field, but like just in general, you know?
just in terms of the fan investment, the community experience, the fact that they embraced Oakland very, very strongly, which is a big part of their identity. Just I love everything about it. I wish I could go to games. It's just a little far, unfortunately. But
Well, we'll send a
next
car.
year
We'll
I
send
will
a
I
car
will
to
be
you.
there.
Yeah.
I love it. Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, speaking of the Ballers and being better than Oakland, they did bring, or better than the A's, I should say, they did bring a championship, a baseball championship to Oakland for the first time in,
Hmm.
was it 35 years, something like that, almost 40 years. And they had a historic season in the Pioneer League. I think at some point they had like the best winning percentage in all of baseball, like ever,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So tell me about this historic season. Like, what was it like being a part of that?
It was crazy. I felt like kind of weird in the middle of it when I was being a trader, and I was like, "Ballers are so great. I love you guys. High wheelers, you got this. You can do." Like kind of caught in between. The Ballers from the beginning, like you had it. Like I mean, they really Tyler Peterson, their assistant general manager, and all the moving parts with this, like the front office in Oakland. These are people who really love the city and really love baseball, and they knocked it out of the park this year. Like the guys they got, not only are they great players, but they're really good human beings. Like, I mean, just the synergy within the team, particularly after the first month or two, when they went on that crazy, like, they won like, I don't know how many games in a row. It was like insane. They had a stretch where they were like 20 wins in a row, so, something like that. And it
Something
just,
sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they were just amazing. I remember they came up to Marysville and they lost the first game of the series, which I wasn't there for. I was working a shift in San Francisco, and I came over, and the rest of the series they just dominated. And it was just like I don't think I've ever seen a team in their league like just dominate to that level. Like I mean, I think it's above Golden State Warriors 2016 level because again the Warriors lost to the Cavs, and although the Ballers were down 2-0, they came back and they had that grit to them, and it was just amazing to see. Like the way they would win each of these games, it was always different. It wasn't like they had a good offense and bad pitching and they just were, getting away with it. Like it would be they could win the nail biting 2-1 games like we saw in the playoffs. They would have huge blowouts like 13-0. They would win the offensive explosions. They would win in the swing off, the home run swing off that they do instead of extra innings.
Yeah.
They would win slugfests with lots of errors. They win in every single way, which was so fun to see. Like these different players stepping up, and you'd have guys like Almanza, hitting all these home runs. Isai Santos getting on base so much. You got Daryl Buggs making all those great plays in center field. And I mean, I could go on and on about all these plays. Dylan Tatum having that crazy stretch where he hit all these hit homer after homer, I think on the road in like Colorado or something. And but what I'm saying is like it was a different guy each time. Like bullpen starters, guys in the lineup, like each guy had their moments. Like even Michael O'Hara, who was injured most of the year, I remember he had this home run swing off or this home run derby swing off with I forgot, was it River Orsak, some guy on the high wheelers, and they went to like 7 rounds because they kept hitting home runs, and it was just like all these fans are laughing at how amazing it was, and it's just guys all coming through and just being a huge part of what truly was a team. Like it was every single member of the team was, they contributed. It wasn't like this guy sat on the bench and did nothing. Everybody just gave 100%, and it was amazing to watch. Historical, literally, right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, no, straight up is a historic event. I mean, and then the championship, the winning that series at the end, like you said, they were down 2-0 and they came back. I mean, were you there for the parade? Like, what was that like? Being able to celebrate with people in Oakland for the first time. And I mean, I know they had the Warriors parade. Actually, did they ever have a parade in Oakland, or was it always in San Francisco? I want
I
to say
think
the
they had a
first.
parade in Oakland. Again, Kings fan, so I wasn't paying attention back then, but I think they did. I want to say
Okay.
that. I know the 2022 one was San Francisco because they play at Chase now, but I think they had Oakland ones. I think Warriors fans in the chat, let us know. They should still be in Oakland, by the way, but that's a different story. Yeah, no, I remember game 3. Well, first of all, the parade was so fun. Like I was in front with Scrappy and Scrappy's handler Melissa. Shout out to Modesto Melissa, in case she's watching this, and Maya and some of the other E Crew people, and that was just so fun. Because it's been like 36 years since the '89 World Series when they beat the Giants. I say they beat the Giants just to rub it in the face of Giants fans. But it was such a great time just seeing all these fans that I've seen all year come through the turnstiles here at Ramondi, and seeing them all just like clapping there, like lined up on the streets. People can say what they want, like, oh, it was a small parade. Like it was a lot of people there. Considering the season ended a few weeks before and it was a Sunday afternoon and the NFL is on, like the Raiders were busy losing or something like that. No offense, and the Raiders are a good team. They won on Sunday against a top 32 team. So the parade was so fun though, because it was just like you see all these people that you like interacted with all season long, and they're super hyped, and you're waving at people, and you're like popping them up and high fiving Scrappy, and like the different cars coming through. It's all Oakland, like all these different companies or just different fans, or just I mean, literally we had a guy. He was on, I don't know what it's called. He was on this little like tractor thing, and I didn't even know who he was. I don't know if he was associated with the Ballers. He might be, and maybe I'm just ignorant here. But he was just hyped up, and everyone was like, "That guy's cool. Let's go!" Everyone's just hyped up, and it was just so fun. And it was such a great time. Just from there to going to Prescott Market, and Casey and Ryan Carmel are just giving a speech and talking about all the players and all the like players, staff, and families and all that. Everyone's like all this big family, just like all of us getting together, having fun. DJs that used to work with the Oakland Ballers DJing. It's all just a family affair. Not to quote Sly and the Family Stone, but it was just such a amazing time. And the games were so fun too, because game 3 we're all nervous, like, oh my god, are they gonna get swept in the championship? Like, God. And then them coming back and winning the way they did, and how hyped the fans were each night, and just amazing.
Nothing like it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they like I said, they represent Oakland. They've embraced it to the fullest, and it's a great sports city that's just been done wrong by so many different people, both on the court, off the court, on the field, off the field. It's just, and it's really sad to see that. I mean, it's sad in its own way, but it's beautiful to see that the Ballers are still keeping like the Oakland sports tradition alive. And then you have the Oakland Roots. Have you been out to an Oakland Roots or Soul game at the Coliseum?
I have. I went to the first one at the Coliseum this year, and sat actually right because they opened more seats for that one because it was so busy. I sat like on the right in front of the edge of the left field bleachers where they used to sit for the A's games with the signs. That was so fun. I mean, I know they haven't been able to get as many people there, and I've gone to, I want to say, I went to 2 games this year at the Coliseum. I went to one last year at the Hayward one, I think the Hayward
Yeah,
Stadium.
they used to play at the Cal State East Bay. Yeah,
Exactly, Cal State East Bay.
Previous
I keep calling Cal State Hayward, but like,
yeah, that's what it used to be called. So you're good.
Yeah, see, I'm an OG.
They changed the name.
See, I know the real name, everyone. No, but going to the Coliseum and being back there with all those fans that first time was special. I know they didn't win that night, but the fireworks, which went on forever, fireworks shows like a half an hour.
I was like, this is big budget. It was awesome.
We're gonna go home, or
I was there too, by the way. Yeah,
you were too. Oh yeah, you were there too. So that.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Too Short at halftime, or no? That was Ballers.
Yeah.
Or was it Too Short?
No, they had. Because I've been to a few games. It was one of them was Pilo. One of them was.
I heard about that.
They always have some, big deal. Someone that's a big deal in Oakland performing at halftime. So I don't remember exactly who it was, but yeah, it was somebody big.
The Oakland Ballers had T-Short. Look at me, a Too Short do like a little music video before the game on the field with all the instruments and everything.
Is he
And
a minority owner as well?
I think so. I think he is, and that was super fun. And I think he was there at halftime at the Oakland Roots game, and seeing all the fans get really hyped, and it was just such a fun seeing the Coliseum like packed with people. It takes me back to like the playoff games, like even the really popular like Giants A's games of like a few years back, and it makes me sad, but also really happy to see Oakland come out. And I like what the Roots are doing. I feel like the Coliseum is a bit big for them consistently
Yeah.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
I would like to. I mean, honestly, I don't know if this is how much this has gotten out, but I would like to see the Roots build a stadium right next to Raimondi. That field, like, or I don't know if you've been to Raimondi, but at Raimondi Park, there's like a huge like grass patch, and then there's a football field right next to it that borders Raimondi Park, and that patch there that's just sitting empty. My thoughts like, well, you build a little box office that both teams can share, and then you
Mhm.
build this like soccer stadium for them. The Soul can play there, the Roots can play there. There's this
Yeah.
rugby
I want
team.
to say they had, it was an announcement I think a year or two ago. It was something to do with like a development deal like near the Coliseum, maybe one of the parking lots or something that they were going
The
to turn
Malibu
into, because
lot.
you don't exactly, yeah, they were going to,
Yeah.
because you only need like 10,000 seats at the these USL levels, like their MLS or something.
Yeah.
Have
And
you
it's
have you
just,
been to a Sac Republic game out
I
here?
have. I actually used to work for them. Yeah, I forgot to
Okay,
mention that. I used to work for them as a
that's right. Yeah.
as an usher in high school.
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
yeah,
I
so
went.
Heart Health Park, I think is what it's called. It's like
Yeah, so it's
I
called
think the
now.
capacity is 10,000.
Yeah, it
So
is
it's
about 10,000. Yeah, well, we used to
yeah,
call
you don't
it.
need much
Yeah,
space, I think,
no,
for a comfortable, intimate, use all those words that they use for like minor league teams. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's
right.
intimate, it's
Cozy.
comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah,
cozy. There you go. Which I
yeah,
prefer, because accessibility, man, that's the big thing for me, especially with kids. It's like if I'm paying, if I'm taking three other people with me to this game, I want it to be affordable and I want it to be a good experience. We don't want to sit in the nosebleeds and like, squint down at the field. So the accessibility part of all of these, the ballers, high wheelers, public, all that stuff, it's such a big part of the experience. Something that I'm starting to like really, really enjoy versus, oh, it has to be Major League Baseball, it has to be the NFL. It's like
yeah,
I'm good with these teams that are more community focused, more accessible, and they're more affordable. It's still a great time.
exactly. And I kind of wish the Roots would move. I mean, again, and they also got Prescott Market right there, and it's just like when you talk about kids, and like you want to be like, I feel like in a very, I love the Coliseum, I really do, and I like the fact that the Roots are playing there. It's just, I mean, if I had kids, I feel like the environment the Republic FC have, even though it's a temporary stadium, they're getting a new one in a few years here. The one they have at Cal Expo, I'm sure you've been to a few games living in South Sac.
Yeah. Yep.
So this. It's a smaller stadium, but like it feels fun. It feels like there's some stuff for the kids to do, but like it's not like it feels more alive. I want to say, except for that first Roots game, which was awesome. Which I think they should play a few games a year at the Coliseum, and I think the Ballers should do that too. Casey, if you're watching, make it happen.
That'll be awesome.
Come to that
I'll
one.
be
I know
there
you
for
haven't been.
that.
Come to
Yeah,
that
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would love to see that. That area, honestly, I'm telling you right now, is West Oakland, Prescott area. It's on the up. So I think these teams should definitely make it a little like a neighborhood, almost like Wrigleyville, but like for different sports, and just have the community kind of based around that, because it really worked this last year, like with the market and like just that train station they're going to do something with soon. Yeah. So long story short, Oakland is awesome. Anyone who says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you've been on both sides. You live in Sacramento, or you grew up in Sacramento, so
Yeah.
you know the sports scene here and what that's like. And of course, you made your thoughts known on the A's. I think we are in complete agreement. Do you still consider yourself an A's fan? Do you still follow the team?
Hard, because I'm not joking. I had my birthday celebration last night, and my friend from Sacramento got me this. So it's a corduroy A's hat they gave away. I want to say like a month and a half ago. It's really comfy.
It's a nice hat.
It's a nice hat. Yeah, it fits my big blank head. I'm not gonna cuss because we haven't cussed yet. So your kids can watch this. But yeah, I just, it's not the same. I cheer for the players for sure. Like I love what Nick Kurtz did this last year. Tyler Soderstrom's amazing. Lawrence Butler, it makes me so pissed because if Lawrence Butler was playing right field in Oakland, can you imagine like how much him in the right field? I'm just thinking about like Jorge and like Brian Johansson, like all those guys who used to be out there in right field or Gamer Athletics. Like I'm talking about all these like popular now Ballers fans, but A's fans like have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
social media following. How amazing that interaction would be, as it was with Josh Reddick, as it was with Stephen Piscotty, and like I don't know other guys, like maybe Eric Burns, guys like that. I'm just throwing names out there at this point, but whenever I see these A's players in SAC, I just think, oh, you guys, you're missing out. Like you're playing in a minor league park. These fans here are like, if they're A's fans, they're pissed off at Fisher, and they're cheering for you, but they're just still mad and they're heartbroken. The ones that are like
Which is
me, they're
me.
like,
Yeah.
which is you, yeah, because it's when they announced when Vivek, the great Kings owner, announced that they're gonna stay here for free. It's like all these people texting me, oh my God, the A's are here. Like I have a lot of friends in Sacramento because I grew up here. The A's are here. It's so great. Tarik, are you hyped? I'm like, no, no, this is crap. They're not taking the city name. They're playing in a minor league park. They're screwing over Oakland. This is not no. Like, and I love Sac and I love baseball in Sacramento. And it's one thing if they moved here, said we're building a new stadium in Sacramento. Does that still suck because I think they belong in Oakland? Yeah, but if they're committing to the city, okay, I don't like it, but I can see that. But this all just Sacramento's just being used, and they're helping the A's move to Vegas. I can't get behind that. I've gone to a few games in Sacramento because there is a curiosity. What is this like? And do
Yeah,
they
of
really
course.
have corduroy hats? Because these are really nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a nice corduroy hat. That elephant is
It's a
awesome.
great hat.
It's a great hat. Yeah, I just made it about a hat for no reason. But and I've gone, and it's sad. I'll tell you right now because the people there, the
It
staff,
is.
really nice, really nice. The fans. I mean, I see a lot of kids there. I'm happy for the kids, like maybe your kids, being able to go to an MLB game right down the road. But like the fan, it's not like I'm used to Oakland A's games. I'm used to seeing the drums in right field. They don't allow drums now. Like, how do you not allow
They
drums
don't
at an?
really they don't well because they don't have a right field. It's a right field. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
lawn. It's
berm.
not even right field bleachers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the lawn for just Rivercats games. Like I used to love sitting there, and I still do. But and then like you can't bring signs in because our great owner and leader John Fisher would not like that. Who cares what he? It's just it's just it is such a if people, I was just talking with my friend this morning about this. They love the fact that they can go to an MLB game just down the street. They live in Midtown. It's a 10-minute walk for them. They love that. They love the A's. They love the players. And I can't fault those people. I'm not going to get mad at you for being an A's fan right now. I don't think
100%.
anybody in their right mind who is, of sane comprehension would say that they're a fan of John Fisher. But they're fans of the players. They're fans of Kotze. They're fans of these guys. And they're not a bad team. They're probably going to make the playoffs next year. I think they have a good shot. It feels like it feels wrong. And it just makes me mad because I think a lot of people feel the same way, and nobody with the power to do something will actually do anything about it. Because I'm more mad, actually, more than anything. Hey, Fisher's whatever. I think Manfred and a lot of the other owners, particularly Manfred, I think, though, is to blame for this. Because
100%.
he's made this
They let
huge
it
point
happen.
with, yeah, he let it happen. And he made, like, Stu Stugenberger or whatever his name is, the Rays owner, sell because he wasn't doing anything. Why doesn't he do this with the A's? And it's because they see Oakland. They haven't been here. They see reports and they think it's a wasteland. People are dying left and right, and there's crime everywhere. Well, there's crime in Baltimore. Have you seen crime in Milwaukee? Not great. I don't see you taking the Brewers away. I don't see you moving the Orioles. Also, there's crime in Boston too. Are you going to take that away? Are you going to take the Red Sox away from Fenway? No. But it's this East Coast bias. It is the sense that Oakland is a crap town. Nothing happens there, and it's all a lie. And that perspective, I've never understood it. I don't understand why Major League Baseball doesn't take this viable market that can make them a lot of money and save their image, which is not good right now, and that they just abandon it. It makes me sad, and even them being in Sacramento won't help that. And if they do make it to Vegas, which
Hmm.
is still, we'll see, there's no any fandom I have left will be completely gone by then. I still have a little bit of love for the players on the team, like Lawrence Butler or like Soderstrom, like Langoliers, and also actually especially guys like Wilson or Zach Geloff, because Geloff's parents were very much like, let's stay in Oakland, just as quietly as they could. It's just very sad, and that's why the Ballers are amazing because they've helped us cope with what would otherwise be a very depressing year.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing, is that they've filled this void as best they can, and they've done an incredible job again of
Oh my
embracing
gosh.
the community and making, it's Oakland first and Oakland. I mean, I think the roots, they say Oakland first, Oakland always, something like that.
Yeah.
And both of these teams, I think, do such a great job of trying to fill that void. I know they're not major league teams, but it doesn't matter. It's still sports. You get to still wear Oakland across your chest. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, it matters to the people. Tarik, where can people, hear more from you on social media or anything like that? And what's coming up for you next year? Are you still going to be? I know you're probably not going to do double duty, right? But you're still planning to stay with the Ballers next year.
I'm gonna see about the high wheelers. I want to help them out, like, and do some stuff with them next year. I don't know if I can do as much just because, I mean, it's just, burnout, I do want to, I'll probably I'll see what I'm doing next year. I know I'll definitely be with the Ballers. I'm gonna try to help out the high wheelers, maybe the Modesto team as well, potentially, or the Long Beach team for a little bit, just to kind of help them a little bit, get the fan support off the ground a little. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, tarik.ans, if you want to follow and see me occasionally post about my band. I actually am also a singer in a synth rock band. By the time this comes out, we'll be done with our first album, and in a few months, we're going to be releasing it. And hopefully, also speaking to Casey here, hopefully we can maybe play at a certain Ballers game coming up, because we've been talking about that for this next year. So if you guys like, let's make it happen. So yeah, if you like 70s and 80s new wave synth rock music, if you want to hear a announcer sing, there you go. No, and it's kid approved. It's approved for kids, so your kids can listen to it
Perfect.
too. That's true.
Well, you got a great voice. You got a great vibe. I love the passion. This was awesome, man. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a while. Like I said, when I saw you at the Wheelers game, I was like, this guy's name is Tarik. I wonder what his deal is. Because that's my
Yeah, what's
brother's
this?
name. So I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
really? How
that's
does he spell it?
so with an E. So Tarek.
EK.
But same
Interesting.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I got to talk to this guy. So I'm lucky we found each other on Reddit and we were able to make this happen. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And next time you're up in Marysville, let me know. It's not too far from me. And if I ever get to make it down to Oakland for a Ballers game, I will definitely reach out.
Absolutely. I'll let you know about Marysville, but do come out to Oakland, especially Sunday afternoon, because you got kids, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
Sunday,
do.
kids run the bases. I would come for a Sunday game. You will not regret it. But and thank you again for the opportunity. This is the first time I've been asked to be on a sports podcast, and like I was kind of like all giddy. Like I used to be on the other first. Like I feel so cool now. So thank you again, and I must say your microphone quality is better, your beard is better, and your vibe is immaculate. So thank you for everything, sir.
I appreciate the kind words. Thanks, man.